Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great High Point market. It's hard to believe it's Monday. I mean, I believe it's Monday, but feels like Tuesday. Welcome to Universal Furniture. My name is Neil McKenzie, Vice President of Marketing. We have so much happening. As Melissa said, this is the Learning Center, and we've had or will have a total of 15 events over 5 days here. We do record them all. We make them available afterwards. So wherever you went to go register, the videos will be posted there, and then they live on our YouTube channel under the Learning Center tab. So I'd give us about a week to get them up there. But and really this goes back to, I think, maybe 3 or 4 years when we started recording these. So if you see some you like, you can watch them again. If you want to check out the showroom, which we would highly encourage you to do afterwards, we have so much to see. We have a new collection on floor 3 with Aaron Valencic. We have a collection downstairs called Nostalgia. Floor 2 has some in-stock looks from Coastal Living and Miranda Kerr. We have special order on floor 1. If you're not familiar with our special order program, it is shipping in 8 to 10 weeks, and that is made domestically out of Conover. And if you are a designer and don't have an account with us, we can help you with that. There is no order minimum, so it's easy to get an account set up. And to see all of that and also take advantage of the Bartesians, the Keurig for cocktails, they really need to like trademark that, but I don't know if they can. But that is in the Designer's Lounge, where we also have the beauty bar. So if you want a hair touch-up before our party, feel free to do that too. Just check in at the front desk. They'll be happy to set you up. And then everything in the showroom is tagged. And we have these little scanners that allow you to just scan everything you like. So you can scan everything, and then when you check out and provide that scanner back to the front desk, you'll receive an email with everything you scan. So it should make your shopping a little easier. We are so excited to have Melissa speak again this week. She always draws a crowd and always offers, I think, a lot of insight in terms of how you can hopefully get better and be more efficient and master time. So we'll let Melissa get going, and yeah, thank you all for visiting Universal.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it. All right, and I'm about to do a shameless plug here, okay? That is my little teeny tiny face on the bottom of the cover of Designers Today. I'm so excited about this. I'm guest editor for October, so please pick this up because it's got some really cool intel in it, including 2 of my clients sharing about their experiences working with me and a whole lot of other good intel. Designers Today is, for me, our preeminent industry publication, and they have been a real force for a number of years now. So if you aren't getting a free subscription, get one now. It really, really does make a difference. So we're here today to talk about time mastery, and here's the interesting thing about time. You can't actually master it. You can only master your behaviors around it. So that's what you're going to learn today, is how to master your behaviors. Let's make sure I've got this working the right way. Yes, I do. So what is a successful business? Now, this is my definition and that of my clients, and I am fortunate enough to have several of my clients in the room. I got to see them. So a successful business is one that informs and inspires, serves and supports, and fuels and feeds the whole of your life. It doesn't swallow you whole. There is no success in sacrificing yourself to your business. I don't care how much money you're making. If you are sacrificing your life and yourself to your business, you are not a success. Not by my standards, not by the standards of my clients. The majority of my clients, I have to pull off that edge, and I have to start getting them home at 5 and 6 o'clock at night, off on weekends, and with their spouses saying, what would Melissa say? Is she telling us to go on another long weekend? Because I do a lot of that. I do a lot of that because if you've got a partner or a spouse at home and they are not being supportive, there's a good chance it's because they're not getting enough of your attention. And I like to make sure they get enough of your attention, including your kids, so that they are supportive. That really does matter. And that's all about where you're investing your time. I don't want you spending it. I don't want you wasting it. I want you investing it because there is an ROI, return on that investment. Okay? I will keep this close because my voice is a little bit weak. So we're going to identify your limiting beliefs around time. You've got them. We're going to call them out. I want you to write them down in your little notebooks so you can remember that these are excuses that you're making and limiting beliefs that you have around time. Take control of your time once and for all. You are in charge of this. You can do this. Some of you are here for the second or third time. That's awesome. You got a running start and then you fell off the wagon. Now it's your time to get back on. 4 steps to revolutionizing your calendar and reclaiming time weekly. I want to show you how you can reclaim an entire day a week. It's not as difficult to do as you think. And time blocking to stay on track and earn more. You can come down the front and sit if you'd like. I promise not to step on you. And it's a lot gentler on your tootsies than standing back there. So I want you to sit back and focus. You all have a postcard on your seat. You had a postcard with a little notebook and all that. That postcard is your magic. That gives you a success guide. You don't have to take screenshots. I've made this super simple. I want you focused on the learning, not focused on all the screenshots, which you will never look at again because I have done the same thing you have, and I have never looked at the screenshots again. So trust me, the success guide will work for you, okay? It's a downloadable PDF. Time shrinking thoughts. Who's ever said, I don't have enough time? It's not true. You have the same amount of time as everybody else around you. It's a thought. It's a belief. It's not a fact, okay? How about I'm so busy? There is no badge for busy. Get over your busy self, okay? How about there's so much on my plate? I'm guilty of this one. I like to say my plate's overflowing, but I like to say it with that overflowing kind of high point so it sounds inspired instead of freaking me out. I wish I had more time. We each have all the time we need. We don't need more time. We need to manage our behaviors around it better. Okay? Designers, by the way, have a very bad reputation for not being on time. And I got to tell you, I always got such a tickle when I would show up at my clients and they would say, you know, Melissa, we can set our clocks by your arrival. I was born 2 weeks late. I have been early ever since. If I go to a party, I have to sit outside of my car for 20 minutes so I can be socially acceptably late. It's true. It really is. So get on time so you can do more with the time that you have. It does make a difference. I'll never get it all done. Well, you just told me what's not going to happen. You just set that expectation, and there you go. You're going to live into it. Proud moment for you, okay? My time is not my own. Well, if it's not yours, whose is it? Now, I get it. If you're caring for aging parents, if you're caring for sick children, I get it. I am not beating you up by any means. But too often we say this when that's not true. Our time is absolutely ours. We're just not using it the best and the most appropriate way. Where will I find the time? Well, it's not out here. There's no store of time, no bank of time. You don't get to run over and, take another lot of time out, write a check for time. No, you don't get to do that. So you have to be wise with it. I can't keep up. Well, you spoke that into existence. Do you see what's happening here? You are speaking into what your behaviors will become. And that's what we don't want to have happen. And if only there were more hours in the day. Well, there aren't. There are 24. And yet we all know people who can do more in 24 hours than others can do in 4, right? You all have the capacity and the ability. So let's take a look at time expanding thoughts. There's always enough time to get it done. Have you ever been on a super tight deadline and all of a sudden you met the deadline and you're like, how did I do that? I didn't think I'd get it all done. But you did because you shifted your focus from not being able to get it done to getting it done. Okay? I don't have to do it all. Hello, please. This is a cry for team building, outsourcing, delegating. If you're trying to hot dog it and do it all yourself, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. And you're robbing others of the opportunity to assist you and be paid to work for you. You should feel very guilty now. I know how to prioritize to use time effectively. You will know that by the end of today's session. If you don't, come talk to me. I've done something wrong. We all do what we most want to do in the end. If you don't want to do something, if you're resisting something and it still has to get done, get it outsourced, get it delegated, because it's not going to be any easier by procrastinating. The things that you are dragging your feet on are perfect for somebody else who would love to get them done for you and would be very good at it. So pay attention to those. I have the space and ease for everything to unfold. Said no designer ever. But wouldn't it be great if you did? Wouldn't it be great if you started each day with that mantra? Said it over 4, 5, 6 times. Beginning of the day, middle of the day, and end of the day, you'd say, I created this space and ease for everything to unfold, and it did. You can do this. There is no hurry, haste makes waste. We all know that one. My mother used to harp on that one with me. All right, so my design business is where I experiment so you don't have to. I've experimented with letter of agreement, rates and fees, time management, project management, team building, lead generation, and a list as long as your arm. I've been in the business for 30 years, dare I say that? I love this business. I am now 90% coaching, 90% devoted to your success, 10% design still. Someday it will go 110% coaching, because in my world there is no 100%. There's just excess. So design is in my DNA. For those of you who don't know my family background, my great-grandfather's in the middle of this picture. That's Frank Lloyd Wright. My mother is on the far side there. That is her in the 10 Commandments. And if you're still kind of struggling, like, who is that? I think she looks so familiar, okay? Think 10 Commandments, think Easter, think the royal barge, and she's bedecked and bedazzling, and she stands there, and Charlton Heston comes up from the mud, and she goes, Moses, Moses, Moses. That's my mother. That's my mother. She's been gone 37 years now. And this lovely lady here, you might recognize as inspiration for The Incredibles, Edna Mode, if you've got kids. That is Edith Head, 8-time costume designer, Oscar winner, and my godmother. So I come by the creativity in my genes, through my family history. It's kind of fun. I've never shared this before in any of the last 5, 6 years of teachings and trainings, but I've had too many people come to me and say, why didn't I know? Why didn't you tell me? That's so cool. I'm like, okay, now you know. But growing up, I had a real life drama queen for a mother. So now you know it's true. But the DNA is in my genes, and I'm very lucky. And I've also worked very hard to get where I am, and so did all of them. And this isn't the training that I get to share their stories, but I have done that. I have a brand new podcast called The Affluent Client. Please find it. It is me telling my stories, telling my truth, telling my strategies, telling everything. I would love it if you'd listen in. I'd love it if you'd give a review. And I do share their stories in the podcast. I share a lot about my family background. It's a lot of fun, and it's very unexpected. So this is where I want to see you spending your time, because this is how I get to spend my time. I get to do what I love to do, and I get to meet new, incredible clients like you while I'm doing it. You can do what you love to do and meet new, incredible design clients while you're doing it. Instead of turning yourself into a pretzel and going to some torturous networking event, okay? I only know 2 designers in my entire history of coaching that like networking and are good at it and will cold call. Holy bananas, okay? No others like it. So I want you creating time for the best of your life, a life that is filled with opportunities for you to be alive, engaged, enthusiastic, tuned in, turned on, and meeting potential clients in that state. They don't need to know what you do until they know who you are. And once they know who you are, they're going to be like, I don't know what you do, but I want a piece of it. That's what works the best in terms of marketing. It's authentic, it's organic, and it's no-brainer. And it doesn't involve any funny costumes or kind of pseudo masks that you have to put on and this sort of, I can't believe I have to go to this place again. You don't have to do that, okay? I want it being fun. You should be looking forward to each and every day in your business. If you're not, you need to talk to me, because I've been on that path, especially the one of burnout, okay? One size does not fit all. I am not going to talk to you today about Asana, about Monday, about Trello, about Riker, about ClickUp. This is not that kind of training. You can go and you can evaluate those tools for yourself. I would encourage you to do so. They are tools. This is the foundation. Without the foundation, you will not make a huge difference in managing your time. So that's what I want to make it very clear. And I want to make it very clear that just because one of your colleagues is using one of those tools doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I suck at Asana. Suck at it. I can't make head or tails of Trello. I've tried Monday, didn't love it. I'm now kind of looking at Basecamp because I'm thinking that might be better because I've done that several times before. I've got one client that just took on Riker or Reich, and I've got another one that swears by ClickUp. Others that have looked at ClickUp and gone, I can't do it. It's a blank canvas. Okay, there you go. So one size doesn't fit all. Find the size that fits you. That's what will make the difference. Manage your behavior. When you control the action in your hours, you will take charge of your day. Control the action in your hours, you will take charge of your day. When you take charge of your days, your weeks will be productive. We want productive weeks. And productive weeks lead to profitable months. And profitable months mean years of business growth that deliver the income and the impact you want and the life that you dream of. That's what this is all about. There is no balance. There's only fusion and harmony. Because we are not designers that wake up at 7 and flip our creativity switch and then flip it off at 5. We're creatives 24/7, 365. It's a gift. It can become a curse if you don't manage it the right way. So that's what we're going to talk about. So 4 steps to revolutionizing your calendar and reclaiming time. You're not going to like this. Track your time for 2 weeks. Now, I'll let you skate back to 1 week, but you got to do it for me. It doesn't need to be on an app. It can be on a little sheet of paper, but it better be by 15-minute increments from the moment you open your eyeballs in the morning to when you close those eyeballs at night. I actually don't think you open eyeballs. You open eyelids. That was yeah. Wow, there was a teaching moment for me. Okay, so I really want you to do this. I know you're like groaning internally going, I can't believe I have to track my time. This will be the most powerful thing you do. You are going to find out all the rabbit holes you've been dashing down and all the distractions you've been allowing. And you'll be like, well, yeah, Melissa, I only spend 20 minutes a day on social media. Or, no, Melissa, I don't watch 4 hours of TV every night. Or, whatever it is, you're going to find it out. And then you're going to be able to address it. If you don't track it, you won't find it out. You won't be able to address it. You're going to create your complete pro task list. That means I want you to write down everything. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, by the way. I want you to write down everything you're doing. Every little phone call, every text, every email, every time you break from what you're doing to show your assistant something, to call a contractor, to dash off to a job site, you need to write all of it down because there are pieces of that we want to remove, okay? Categorize your tasks. I got all that figured out for you, okay? And then time block and stick to it. So this is what we're going to walk through. Time track for 2 weeks. It's ugly, but I want you to do it, okay? Like I said, I'll let you skate back to 1 week. But it can't be just 2 days. Can't be just 2 days. There's certain days of the week you're doing certain things that are really turning you upside down. So your complete pro task list. I want you to write down, as I said, everything that you do. Bullet points. Skip the novels, please. Some of you are longhand novelists. I know because I get these priority progresses that have novels on them. I want you to go to bullet point. Be brief. Brief makes a difference. Brief is time efficient. Categorize your activities. That really does make a difference. Personal care. What would personal care be? Baths. Yeah, I'm good with that. Baths are part of personal care. Showers are personal care. Yoga, meditation, running, working out at the gym, spa, sauna time, eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's personal time. All right? I do time blocking from the time I get up to the time I end my workday. Now, sometimes I'll include fun activities in that, like I'll include my networking event in the evening or I'll include a girls' dinner or something like that, but it's all on my calendar. One of the powerful things about calendaring it is it takes the decisions out of it. You no longer have to go, what am I doing next? Where am I going next? The decisions occupy an enormous space in your brain. And if you remove those, it's like why Steve Jobs used to wear nothing but jeans and a black turtleneck. He wanted to remove those decisions. Now, he is a gentleman, and gentlemen have a much easier time pulling that off than we ladies, because if we tried to do that, they'd go, did you run out of clothes? Have you not been to the laundry lately? But gentlemen can get away with it. So simplify, simplify, simplify. The fewer decisions you have to make in each moment of the day, the more creative you will become and the better problem solver you will be for your clients. So personal care. What is your personal care? Categorize it that way. So then we've got business building and marketing. Massive category. Holy bananas, okay? This is the networking event in case you go to one. This is any kind of lead generation activity that you're doing. If you are tinkering with your website, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay. You are an interior designer. You are not a graphic designer. Some of you are masquerading as graphic designers. Please stop masquerading. Now, you may have a background in graphic design. That's awesome. You made a choice deliberately to shift gears and focus on interior design. So focus on it, please. I get just royally bent out of shape with my folks when they start mucking around with their websites. It is an endless muck about. Hire a professional. Hire a professional. I provide resources to my clients so they don't have to research this. All right, very important. Same thing with copywriting. I'm a writer. I no longer copyright my own website because I found that is not my strong suit. I'm good at a lot of types of writing. That's not one of them. Hire it out. Photography. Please don't try to do this yourself. I have one client who's done it. Gifted. Renaissance woman on that front. She came to me, she said, Melissa, I will never do my own photo shoot ever again. It was torture and the editing was beyond painful. So just because you like doing it and are good at it doesn't mean you should do it. All right? This is what you've really got to get ingrained. All right, so business building could be social media. If you loathe it, you hate it, you're lousy at it, let's find an outsource for it. The challenge is outsourcing your social media is kind of like cloning yourself because you need a lot of you in it. So that can be tricky. What I've done with my reels, I actually weirdly have a gal out of Belgium doing my reels for me. Now, how does she do that? Because she goes deep into my feed. She reads about the programs I've done, my Instagram TV, my IGTV, and then I got a couple file folders of photos for her. Then I write the captions after she sends me the reels. I do the hashtagging. It's my voice. I approve every reels. Nothing goes out without my approval. I'm not a bottleneck. She sends me 8 at a time. I go through all 8. I get them done in an hour, and I shoot them back to her, and she posts them. Because when she first came to me and she said, Melissa, I can do your reels for you. And then she said, oh, and then I'll send them to you, and you'll have to add the covers. And I'm like, covers? What's that? And she said, and you'll have to add music. And I'm like, oh, no, you passed my pay grade. Done. You're doing it, getting you access. We're double verified. We made it work. So if I made it work, you can make it work. But it does have to have your voice in it. If you're lousy at writing, then record and have somebody else edit you and put it into proper grammar and English. This is especially true if American English is not your native language. So that makes a difference. But you can get help on all that. So creative delivery, huge category again. This is the time you're investing with your client once the project is started. This is the floor plans. This is the sourcing. This is the selecting. This is the stuff we live for. This is the fun stuff. This is the stuff I want you having more time for because this is what you love to do the most and what nobody else can do. But yes, they can. That junior designer, you set the vision, you set the parameters, you give them your hallmarks, you give them some protocols, and let them go to town with it and see how well they can do. Otherwise, you are trapped in the state of the same type of creative delivery endlessly. And that would be a shame because then you can't up level to the next set of clients and the bigger opportunities. And that's what I really want for you. So creative delivery is huge. It also includes all those annoying meetings with the contractor. That's creative delivery. So there's some downsides to it, but it's still really important. And then admin and preparation. Triple U, okay? I am really hoping that if I ask this question, no one's going to raise their hand. But it's okay. If you raise your hand, you get a gold star for being brave enough to raise your hand. Who in here is still doing their own bookkeeping? Oh, say it isn't so. Okay. I know a couple of designers that came out of finance careers, came out of CPA careers into design, and they have given it up. Please, please, pretty please, with a cherry on top, give that up. It's not good for you, okay? It really isn't. It's a different part of our brain, and it's just distracting. It's taking up time that you'd probably rather be being creative in, and you are robbing a bookkeeper of what they love to do the most, okay? Don't you feel badly now? So admin also includes invoicing. How many of you are doing your own invoicing? And if you're not, oh no, there's a way lot more of you in this room than that. It's just not, no hand, they're little shy hands. Me. Okay, please hand off the invoicing. And here's the worst thing about it. I've got designers I work with that are guilty of going into every invoice and removing hours. No. I don't want you gifting your clients that time. You can move the hours around. I used to do that in the early days. If something, like the powder bath wall covering took me 6 hours to source and the sofa took me an hour and a half, I just moved some hours from the powder bath wall covering to the sofa. But now I'm flat feed and I don't do any of that nonsense. And that's one of the beauties of flat fees. You reclaim all of that time that you lost to all of the hourly billing. Are you billing for the hours it's taking you to do the hourly billing? Well, you need to be. You really do. So admin and preparation, there's a lot to that. This is a category to outsource and delegate. You know what? We are creatives. Me as a creative, I suck at details. I am a big picture visionary, and I'm really good at it. But the details, my poor assistant this week has had to run back to Winston-Salem Kempton Hotel twice because I forgot something. The first day, it was my jewelry. I came out on a full day tour, leading a tour, and I arrived with no watch, no earrings, no rings, and I had to send her back and tell her where to look in the room because I had 3 different places for jewelry in the room. It was hilarious. And then yesterday, I did the same thing. I had the jackets hanging by the door. I had my bags packed. I walked out with the bags. I got halfway down the road. I'm like, oh, the jackets are still in the room. So that's the detail stuff. It's not my strong suit. Fortunately, I have Allison, and she was willing to go back and do that. And I was left feeling silly but relieved. So look at what you're really good at. I'm standing in front of a room full of starters. You're starters. You start things, and you're brilliant at it, and you're excited, and then you get bored, and you don't finish it, do you? So you know what's really cool about this? It can take one finisher to finish for 10 starters. You can have one project manager to finish 10 projects. But it took multiple starters to start them. It's really, really interesting. So know who you are. Know what your strengths are. Play to your strengths. Please don't correct your weaknesses. It's a big, hairy waste of time. Silliest thing to ever do. Somebody says, focus on your weaknesses, correct them, strengthen them. No, don't do that. Delegate them. Delegate them, outsource them, delete them. There are things you're doing you don't need to be doing. If I could have a one-to-one with each and every one of you in this room, I would find out what those things are, and I would eliminate them for you. Okay? You just don't know what they are yet. Bookkeeping is one of them. All right? Guaranteed. Bookkeeping is one of them. I want you to assign your days. Is anybody assigning their days? Why am I not seeing my clients' hands going up? Oh, no. Okay. For me in design, my Monday was always business building and admin. Okay, that's when I got a lot of stuff done. I would also do purchasing on Mondays until I had an assistant doing it for me. Tuesday, clients and creative. Wednesday, creative work. Okay, Thursday, clients and creative, and Friday, completions and map the next week. I don't want to be doing that on Sunday. I don't want to work the weekend. Now, why do I have just 2 days for clients? Because that way, when I'm with a client, I can say, hey, I'm going to have an opening on Tuesday at 2. Will that work for you? I know I've got my openings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, when I say creative work, that can mean an installation. I don't install on Fridays. Why would I not install on a Friday? Because I don't want to not only have an incomplete install and have to come back on a Saturday, but if there are any returns, AKA in the old days, we do a lot of goods on approval. It's a lot harder to do it now because there's so many fewer local resources. But I'm still usually able to do a few goods on approval. I don't want them to keep them through the weekend, okay? Because they can abuse them. I'll never forget, I rolled into one of my favorite rug sources in Atlanta, in Roswell, and they were unrolling this rug, and I was talking to the owner, and I said, hey, I want to check out a couple of rugs, and this happened to be a Friday. He goes, Melissa, we have a new policy. You're not able to check rugs out for the weekend. I said, oh, Rick, come on. He goes, okay, look, you're an exception. You've always been really good to us, and we've never had a problem. The rug that they were unrolling, pair of women's panties and a condom. Yeah. Ew. Okay. So the abuse is real. Clients will do this. Now, none of my clients have ever done this to me, but I don't give them the opportunity. I don't install on a Friday, let them keep everything for the weekend, and then they call me Monday and say, we got a whole bunch of stuff to take back. No, you don't. I install on a Wednesday. You have until Friday to tell me what goes back. Now, nothing that is ordered goes back. Nothing that is custom goes back. I'm talking about maybe a pillow, maybe an accessory. That's what I'm talking about. All right, nothing else. So don't get me wrong on that. But does this sound like it would work for you? A little easier than, well, Melissa, actually, my business building and admin happens on Saturdays. No, I don't want that, okay? So assign your days. When you assign your days, you go into the day with an agenda for what you're going to accomplish that day related to these topics. Creative work could be space planning. It could be sourcing. It could be rendering. Now, if you're rendering and you're not fast at it, get it off your plate. I don't care how much you love it. If you're not fast at it, get it off your plate. So I want to detour for just a moment here and tell you about zone of genius work. All right, this is super important. Your zone of genius is the intersection of 3 things. You, A, have to love it. Love it like your soul depends upon it. B, you have to be brilliant at it. I mean, like no-brainer brilliant. Like you could do it in your sleep. C, and here's the hard part, you gotta be pretty fast at it. So I have designers who come to me and say, well, Melissa, I'm not gonna outsource my CAD because that's part of my process. And I'm like, are you fast at it? Well, not really. I said, well, I want you to rethink your process. 30 days later, they come back to me and they say, okay, I rethought my process. You're right. I'm outsourcing my CAD. Okay? You can change your process to be more effective, more efficient, and just as creative as it was before. I only want you doing CAD if you love it, are brilliant at it, and you're fast at it. Same thing with rendering. There are people who can do that starting at $200 for a rendered room, photorealistic, that will knock your socks off, and they're fast, way faster than you are, because that's all they do. Okay? I'm not asking you to break the bank on a project with renders, but you do need to get very clear on what your zone of genius is. So I would like all of you to write down in your little notebooks, what is my zone of genius? Write down 5 things in your zone of genius. Here's the beautiful part. Your zone of genius doesn't have 25 things in it. It has 5, maybe 10. Doesn't have 25. Stop it. Because you're not fast at 25 things. Somebody back there by the thermostat, how about we try ticking that up a bit? I'm seeing some people veritably shivering in here. Allison, can you, wait, is she there? I can't see. Can we just push that up a little bit? It's gone up? Okay, good. Hopefully that will kick in shortly. Yesterday it was hot and they brought it down again, and so it's just been a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so I want you assigning your days. this is what time blocking looks like. Now, I know it's not easy to see, but this is Google Calendar. This is free, people. You don't have to say, oh, that's an expensive tool. No. First of all, we know we don't use the word expensive with me. It's just more of an investment. But this is a free tool. It's complimentary from Google. It's their gift to you. Okay? I like it because it has pretty colors in it. I like colorful stuff. Anybody else here like colorful stuff? Yay, colorful stuff, okay? Now, I had one of these. Oh, I had so much fun with it. I had like rainbow colors on it, and then I was going to present to you all, and I was like, no, rainbow's going to be too much, Melissa. You got to scale it back. So I scaled it back a little bit. But it's by the day, by the week, by the month. So let me show you this in more depth. 60-hour week. Now, hang on a minute. Don't panic. 60 hours includes your personal time, okay? So check this out. 39 billable hours, 9 marketing hours, 3 admin hours, 9 personal care hours. 9 personal care hours. That's over an hour a day. This is for 5 days, okay? 65% billable, 39 hours billable. How many of you are billing 39 hours a week? Ha! Yeah, thought so. Okay, now if you're flat feeing, you're getting more than that. Because flat fees, you earn more in less time with less stress. But this is super, super valuable. It is not hard to do this. Please don't make it hard. Really and truly. You will get this in the success guide. You do not need to screenshot it. Do not worry. It's coming to you. Now, Profit by Design, it's the same as this calendar here. The lady who said this is actually in the room. I'm not going to point her out because I won't do that to her. But she reclaimed a full workday per week and doubled her net profit by 50%. So seriously cool results. It's a year-long program. And I mention it because some of you are going to want to carry this further. So, and the results are seriously cool. Heather has been a master at building team. She happens to be an associate professor, so she uses a lot of the students that she works with. She was never going to build team when she first climbed on board. You've got to delegate. You've got to outsource. You've got to build team. It's so, so important. So keep that in mind. Timeline process. I have a process for all of this. Start with the end in mind. How many of you are putting an estimated deadline on your projects? How many? Let me see a show of hands. Not nearly enough hands went up. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay. So estimated deadline. Estimated, and it has a disclaimer. It says barring unforeseen logistics, force majeure, client changing of mind, whatever else our other disclaimers are. But if you don't have an estimated deadline, what are you working into? You're just going to let the project go on forever. Please don't do that. You need to start with the end in mind. I know it's slippery right now. I know it's longer than it has been in the last couple of years. I get it. I have work going on right now too. But if you don't have an estimated deadline, you're going to keep this thing going forever. And the biggest question I'm getting from designers right now is, Melissa, I've got new projects starting. How do I start new projects when my old projects won't wrap up? I get it. Estimated deadlines make a difference. They also give your client light at the end of the tunnel. You need the deadline. Very, very important. Establish essential milestones. Milestones can be, now, there is a very long procurement period. I get that. During procurement, you need to be sending your client an update once a week. Even if it says the same thing every time that, hey, we're still on track for that big reveal on June 12th, 2027. Now, if you want to go every other week, you can. If you do not send updates, that is when your client starts to get squirrely on you. That's when they start texting you randomly, emailing you randomly, calling you randomly. If you will keep them chilled out with first-class client care, they will be a lot easier and gentler to work with. So that update's important. You should not be doing the update. You should have an assistant doing the update. They send all the updates same day, same time, every week or every other week, okay? Very, very important. If you know your client well enough, and you should be able to include a little link with each one that says, hey, saw this and thought of you this week about something they collect, something they're interested in. It could be a sports team they love. It could be a show they love. It could be their favorite rum, their favorite Italian pasta, whatever it is. If you don't know your clients that well, get to know them better, okay? Include wiggle room. I'm going to show you what I mean by including wiggle room as we get to a tool that I love. Incorporate celebrations. On my timelines, I put what the client care pieces are, and you're going to get to see that in just a second. You have an internal timeline for contractor use. I just think he's kind of cute, so I put him up here. Now, whether or not the contractor will actually use this thing, he's not using the big, beautiful binder that you've created. I don't know what makes me think he's going to use the timeline, but maybe he will. So, and then you need a client version to show who's in charge. For you to produce a simple timeline, by the way, it's not going to take you a long time to do this. I'm going to show you something, okay? But for you to produce this and provide this to the client is going to blow their minds. Because guess who's not producing one for them? The builder and the contractor. So you are going to look like the superstar that you are by producing this and then sharing it with the other folks on the team. The all-in-one tool, I love this, Vislo. Now, that could be Vislo, but this is my Vislo. Now, when I go into Vislo, I can pick this, I can turn it into different colors. I put the writing on it. I start at week 6 and I go backwards. Now, I only give the client the version that has the bold on it. They don't see the rest of it. They get the version with the bold. The contractor gets the bold and then the first couple lines. What the contractor doesn't see is add towels, accessories, and gift basket for client. They don't need to see that part. That's for our internal use. But do you see how impactful this could be? Now, you can do a straight line, a vertical, a horizontal. You can make it. I just like pretty stuff, and Vislo kind of does that and makes it easy. There's a lot of other tools out there other than Vislo. I get no benefit to mentioning Vislo. I just happened to come across it, thought it was seriously cool. So this is a 6-week, it could be a 6-month. You could do this as a 6-month. It doesn't have to be a 6-week. I'm known for working in 90-day timeframes, not in the last year and a half. But that's my MO. But this could be 6 years. That would be a little much, but it could be, okay? Here's another one. Okay, this is a kitchen, and we've got 9 countertops, appliances, backsplash installed, plumbing complete. Kitchen ready for client to enjoy and big reveal. Okay, now, I've managed to put a pad week in there. I didn't tell the contractor I was doing that. I sure didn't tell the client I was doing that. It creates wiggle room for me, all right? I would never allow this to go out saying painting and loose ends. You don't want a client to see loose ends. Painting and finishing touches, okay? So I have to correct my own wordsmithing on that one. But again, week 1, week 9, month 1, month 9. And this comes in a bunch of different colors. If you don't like this format, find a tool that works for you. This is one for redesign and decorate. 1, project kickoff, space planning, to 8, installation, include time for photography. If the client is not living in the space and you can photograph it before you hand it over, so much better. Because to go back in and have to photograph it with your camera phone so that you know where all their stuff is, then you gotta clean it, then you gotta style it, then you get it photographed, then you got to pull all your stuff out, put all their stuff back in, and rumple it up like it was when you walked in the door. That's a lot of work. Been there, done that, didn't like it. Okay? So there's a simpler way to do this. But do you think these timelines would be helpful for you? Do you see how simple they are to create? It really is not hard. Start with the end. These are coming to you in your success guide. So when you sit down to create a timeline, you don't have to draw a blank. I've got Melissa's examples. Hang on, I can do this. Okay? I really want to make this easy for you. Okay. Lisa was working for a design firm. 8 years. Took me 4 months to get her to actually let go of that opportunity because it was a toxic environment and she really wanted to leave. She did have a couple of clients already on the hook. That's why she was able to go from 0 to 1.5 million in a very short time period. So I don't say that's normal, and she did the work. All of my clients have done the work. And Kristen went from barely breaking 60K for over 15 years to 6 figures with no problem at all. Now, I share these stories because I am incredibly proud of these designers and what they've achieved. I really am. This is not my win, this is their win. But I want to make sure that you know what's possible. So you don't leave here feeling like, well, that all sounds really good, but I bet I couldn't do it. Because that's not true. Everybody in this room has this ability and this opportunity. All right, so you got to calendar it. There's just 3 steps. 3 steps to this. You calendar it, that deadline piece. You communicate it. The client, the contractor, the builder, maybe there's an architect involved. You communicate it, communicate it, communicate it. When you are communicating it, please don't do it verbally. Please make sure your communications are written. When you are having phone meetings with your client, you need to do an email recap, and they need to initial it and send it back to you. So you better get comfortable using either HelloSign, DocuSign, one of those signature platforms, because you don't want to have them come back and say, well, I didn't say that. And you will have sent it, but they never initialed it, which means you can't prove that they saw it. Okay? So remember that. And then complete it. Complete it. Finish it, finish it, finish it. Okay? I'm in a room full of starters, and you guys don't get any joy from finishing. You really prefer to leave it for somebody else to do. So find those somebody else's. That's another training on team building. I get it. I do. I'm a classic starter also. First class celebrations. I want to share with you some tips on how you can do first class client care. This is super fun. You've got to always ask these questions. You know what I'm talking about when I say milk, dark, or white? Chocolate, yes. What if they're allergic? You need to find out. What if you gave somebody a chocolate gift basket and they were allergic? Wouldn't you feel foolish? And I am dark chocolate only. I get offended if you bring me any other kind. I'm like, you didn't pay attention to me. That offends me, okay? Red, white, or bubbly, or teetotaler. Teetotaler, all right? Sweet or unsweet, what am I talking about? Tea. I'm in the South. I don't need that in Arizona. Tea, coffee, or hot chocolate. Why does it matter? This is natural, folks. You don't want me on caffeine. It is not pretty, okay? I am tea only, and it tends to be decaf tea. Flat or sparkling. I cannot do bubbles, not of that nature. So I want my water flat, okay? I don't necessarily like tap, but I'll take it. But I can't do sparkling. And if somebody likes sparkling, they want a brand. They're picky, okay? How many people who like sparkling and you got a favorite brand? Let me see a show of hands. Yeah. I want to honor that pickiness. You want to honor your client's preferences. That's what this is all about. So you've got to ask this in a questionnaire. I use Typeform, typeform.com, Typeform for my questionnaires because they're beautiful. We put images with everything, and they're fun to fill out. We don't use Google Docs. It's boring. Bath remodels. You need to find out their favorite scent or if they are allergic to all scents, as one of my clients is. I cannot see her if I have hairspray or cologne on of any kind. Okay, so you need to find out their sensitivities. Bath crystals or pearls, we all have our preferences. Bath lotion or oil. Bath bar or liquid soap. Now, some of you gentlemen in the room are like, I didn't even know these were options. You know, I'm not a bath gal. I'm a shower person, okay? You're kind of either a bath or a shower person. So you also got to find that out. But loofah or soft sponge. Some people don't like to be scrubbed to death. You know? Robe or wrap. I'm a robe girl. A friend of mine gave me a wrap. I graciously passed it on to someone else. I'm not a wrap person, okay? I like those robes. I like the robes in hotels. I've almost taken them a time or two, but I held back. So think about this. This is first-class spa care, right? You're remodeling someone's bath. You have a spa opportunity. What a glorious way to do beautiful terry robes with a monogram on them as a surprise gift. Yes, it's rolled into your fee. No, I'm not trying to attack your bottom line. Come on. But if you know in advance you're going to do that, you know where you're going to do it, you know what it's going to cost, and you're like, but they're going to be so wowed. It's awesome. Okay? So kitchen remodels. This is much more of a minefield, by the way. Nuts or no nuts? What kind of nuts? Some people can do some nuts and not all nuts. I noticed today at lunch, Universal got very smart. They had the pistachios on the side. I had 3 spoonfuls. Pistachios are not my problem. Dairy or almond milk, or maybe they can't do either one of those. I struggle with both of those. I can't do soy. So anybody writing these notes down for me? Gifts later? Gluten good or gluten free? Kosher or non-kosher? Sweet or savory? I've gone to the savory side. I used to be sweets only. Favorite foods, favorite restaurant. Find these things out. Are you finding these things out? Let me see a show of hands of how many people actually know this about their ideal clients. Oh my gosh, not enough of you. The rest of you have to go and get some intel on your clients, please. We're diving deep into their lives. You need these pieces, okay? The master care list. You create a master list of first-class client care goodies, their source, price point, and lead time. Not you, an intern or assistant. An intern or assistant, okay? Apply select personalized goodies to every project. Both decorating, design, and remodel by timeline. Design is a long process. It's frustrating. It's scary. It's confusing for the client. Make it fun. Make the journey meaningful and relevant and successful. It's not about the destination. It really is the journey, and it can be long and dark. Order as needed at the front of every project. So you're not scrambling on, oh, we're supposed to do that gift basket today. No. That should have been ordered 2 weeks ago. Or have a small closet where you keep these goodies on hand. So that will really make a difference in how your client responds to things. Don't just relegate it to gift cards. That says, I didn't know enough or care enough about you to get you anything, so here's a gift card. Good luck. It's not a nice thing to do, okay? So instead, a certificate to their favorite restaurant if you've knocked them out of their kitchen for a remodel. It's a really lovely thing to do. A goodie basket on the counter with their favorite gourmet pieces when they move back in. Or maybe it's a really 6, 7, well, no, not a 7-figure kitchen. Well, that sounds kind of nice. 7-figure kitchen, Okay, multiple 6-figure kitchen. You're going to hire a personal chef for a full day of lessons with them. And they're like, oh my gosh, a personal chef, we've always wanted to do that, and we just never thought we deserved it. Most of your clients, even at the very high levels, don't feel deserving. You need to put in a place of feeling deserving, really and truly. So this is a great way to do first-class client care. Don't make it accidental. Don't make it incidental. Don't wait until they're frustrated and screaming at you to send something nice. Do it as a routine during the course of the project. Your revenues will climb accordingly. And a couple more opportunities for profit by design. The confidence. Our industry has a confidence crisis going on. Everybody has an imposter. Me too. Mine's much smaller. I've been working on it for decades now. I had someone say to me this morning they thought their imposter was completely gone. I said, no. She and he never goes away. They just kind of diminish and then they come up again. I have worked with CEOs and CFOs who have monster-sized imposter. The higher you get, that imposter gets noisier and uglier at times unless you start taming them now. Taming them now, because that's just limiting beliefs and trash coming at you in a different format. Confidence is everything for you to get done what you need to do. And when you want your systems and your mindset right, it's an opportunity for you. So I want you to keep your hurdles in perspective. Every project has hurdles. No client is perfect. I like to call them ideal, but they're almost perfect. They're almost ideal. There's still going to be issues. There are going to be glitches. There are going to be hiccups. And I want you to remember the good times, not the bad. Eliminate management by crisis. If you plan it and you time block it, you've reduced the number of decisions you have to make on a day-to-day basis. You can focus on being creative and on problem solving, because when the problems arise, if you're stretched thin running hard, you haven't got the brain capacity to be able to come up with the right solutions quickly. And you need to. You really do. So I want you to eliminate that. Plan your time daily and weekly. If you were to plan, what day are we at? We're on Monday. Okay. The end of this week, if you were to plan on Friday for the following week, you would be light years ahead when Monday arrived. Instead of waiting till Sunday night, or worse, waiting until Monday morning. If you are stepping into your day without a plan, or waiting until the day of to plan it, you will forget at least a third of what needs to get done, and you will be picking up pieces most of the day. I've done it. I've been there. Now, I work off checklists a lot. You know why I missed that stuff at the hotel? I didn't pull out my checklist. Shame on me. Shame on me. So if you have a checklist, use it. Pull it out. Put little tick marks next to it. Yes, you can put the things you already did that weren't even on the list, and tick mark those too, just to make yourself feel better. All right? Keep track of the details so you can avoid going overboard. You know what? I think every designer needs a detail wrangler, and that term came from my dear beloved copywriter, because that's what she calls her husband in her business, her detail wrangler, because that's not her job. She is chief copywriter, creative, and wordsmith. He is the detail wrangler. Wouldn't you love to have a detail wrangler in your business? Maybe 2 or 3 of them? That's what a project manager is, or a detail wrangler. That's what an admin is. A good admin is a detail wrangler. That's what makes the difference. That's what I want you to have. So would you agree that we've covered this here? The identify your limiting beliefs around time. Take control of your time once and for all. Are you feeling in control? A little bit more? A little bit more? Yeah? Maybe? Okay. You know the 4 steps now, and you're going to time track, and you're going to time block. How many of you will actually do it? It's maybe half the room. What are the rest of you going to do? Oh, no. You've been sitting here decoratively. Okay. So it's terrible. So here's the deal. From this moment on, we do have the option of a meetup. I need this mic. If you notice, I'm a little vocally challenged right now. So Neil said that those of you that want to stay and hang out and ask me questions can stay and hang out and ask me questions for at least another 30 minutes. I have nothing more to teach you on this topic today. Now I have 25 other topics, but we're not going on those topics today. But I do want to honor the meetup time. I've got to be at an interview, a brief one, over at Showplace at 4 o'clock. So those of you that feel like you got enough and you're like, no, I'm done, Melissa. Okay, you're cooked. That's fine. Your time is up. You are allowed to exit. Those of you that want to hang out and ask me questions, please feel free to. You can ask me questions about time mastery or anything else. I will do my best to answer. I've got a lot of years in the field. These... Thank you, thank you, thank you.